Hope is never supposed to be part of the equation when you are investing. I save hope for the stadium or the place of worship, not in stocks. Hope's an illegitimate abettor of bad trading, an ethereal crutch that keeps you from making the tough investing decisions, like taking losses, like not being too optimistic, not being too bullish in the face of material facts that go against your hopeful thesis. But I listen to people. I'm all ears. I look at the market. I see what's going on. People want to have help. They want to have the hope. They want it right here. I can't and won't squelch that hope. They want to believe that President Obama and his team will find a way to get through this. Today, Obama actually said it was a good time to buy stocks. I mean, what the heck? I mean, everyone's entitled to a hopeful opinion. Maybe he's thinking about the NASDAQ, which at one point looked strong today. Maybe he wants to bargain hunt in the Dow Jones average, which went down for still one more session. The White House of Pain!
The House of Pain.
And hey, given that Obama's the one who knocked the whole darn thing down, he might have some inside information that he's done enough damage for now. Oh, of course, he got that long-term thing going that every politician does. That's made us nothing over the last decade. Obama's clearly not a day trader, although he could make a killing on the short side with this radical agenda. Now, I know the president's press secretary, this fellow Robert Gibbs, when asked about my comments this morning on the Today Show with Matt and Aaron, saying this is the greatest wealth destruction I've seen by a president, said, quote, I am not sure what he's pointing to make some of the statements. I guess I was pointing to the Dow Jones average, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Russell Index, not to mention the transports and the utilities, all of which have been clobbered mercilessly since Obama's inauguration. He said my show's geared to a small audience. My reply is the only thing small about my audience is their 401ks and pension plans and annuities after the president's assault. The stock market right now is more of a barometer for most Americans' wealth than Gibbs or Obama seem to realize. The president says he's looking after Main Street, which he points out is a lot more important than Wall Street. I got the map. I got like AAA here. You know, I got the triptych. I am here to tell him that the roads are merging, and the Main Streeters own more stock and have more exposure to the plummeting stock market than he might understand. It was also indicated that I was fevered and caffeinated. Question came up. And for the record, I'm always fevered, but I hadn't even had my morning coffee yet. So in the interest of optimism, that may or may not be cockeyed, hey, let me give you the rose-colored reasons why I would be hopeful here. Why I think the market can lift, and even if you are a skeptic, you can see why hope can be kept alive, or perhaps investable, even if it is on life support. Reason one, Tim Geithner, the Treasury Secretary. He came out of hiding today. I saw him, and spoke eloquently about the issues we're facing. And while he still had no plan, at least he was coherent.
They know nothing!
And made the case for the kind of extreme government spending we need to get the economy moving. The traders kind of liked it. They also, for a moment, remembered why they wanted him in the first place. I didn't, so I wasn't so sanguine. When he surfaces, we feel more confident now, although he refused to repudiate Speaker Pelosi's immediate soak-the-rich class warfare, raise taxes yesterday mantra. Or, to put it simply, he didn't poleaxe the market for once when he opened his darn trap. Reason two, why I'm wearing the rose-colored glasses. Although, you know, it doesn't do anything wrong to clean them a little. Reason two, today, Ben Bernanke talked about the possibilities of one of these elegant facilities he's so fond of, and this one's called TALF, which I will actually believe will get private money to buy assets simply because the government's going to give them the money to do so, and possibly even stop them out of the losses. I was back in the hedge fund game. They're throwing money at me. I want a piece of it. These hedge fund giveaways could really help asset-backed securities, meaning more cars sold, more kids going to college, more homes sold, more credit for more people. Hey, we want that. I like it. Unlike the other facilities we've seen from the Fed in the past and Treasury, I think this one's got some mojo. Third reason, stocks, Altera and Xilinx, two semiconductor companies that used to routinely blow out numbers way back in the 90s. They issued statements last night guiding up or saying that things aren't so bad. That gave the NASDAQ a reason to have a temporary rally. It doesn't matter that these are small time bumps. The important thing is that they give us a sense that things aren't falling off a cliff at this moment And they allow people to say, the worst is over in tech. Boy, how much does that cost you? So it gives hope for the Intels, the EMCs, the Microsofts. You get the picture. Fourth reason for the rose-colored glasses, London's copper inventories are going down. Am I ever stretching it? But I'm telling you, I'm trying to keep hope alive. More economic activity, most likely in China, because you need copper for construction. I don't know what you need for destruction, but we got a lot of that. Reason number 5, you just can't kill China. Despite the carnage in the regional banks, the Chinese market only fell 1.1%. Shanghai is still up 13.8% over the year. Once again, General Cho triumphing over Colonel Sanders. Plus, the Baltic Freight Index is going higher, indicating the Chinese still have a voracious appetite for natural resources, because that index measures shipping, something that China still does. 6th reason for my peculiar rose-colored glasses, we've been down so much it looks up to me. Many stocks have now experienced declines to rival what they had at the beginning of the Depression. And during and after the great crash of 1929 to 32, hey, let me give you a good example. Do you know that from top to bottom, U.S. steel has now dropped from 196 to 17? At last, judging by my handbook, my Bible of the Obama administration, the great crash of 1929, that now exceeds U.S. steel's decline in the early years of the Depression, from its top in 29 to its bottom in 32. Don't get me started about General Motors. We're seeing wealth destruction that actually rivals the 30s without the economic destruction that should be concomitant, but isn't. 7th reason for the glasses, why it might pay to be optimistic. I think oil's done going down, even though the oil stocks are indicating the crude's going to go lower. I don't think it will. Now, usually this is bearish, but right now, any stabilization, any commodity, signals that we're only having a garden variety recession, not the real super-de-duper depression, okay? That would be like what, super-de-duper depression. Well, let's just say that's kind of like Sesame Street depression, you know what I mean? Okay, reason number 8. Housing affordability is now the greatest on record. Even though it's hard to get financing to buy a home in this environment, the declines in home prices, coupled with the fact that we're building far fewer new homes, makes my thinking that maybe the housing bottom call I'm making isn't so crazy. 9th reason to wear the glasses. Many companies that can and have raised their dividends are now trading at levels where they yield between 4 and 5%. If you raised it this week, you aren't cutting it next week. Real value, money in your pocket. Even if you can't trust earnings estimates right now, you can trust these newfound higher dividends and yields. Finally, the 10th reason why I got my rose-colored glasses on tonight is you wouldn't be nuts to be optimistic right now. I've never seen people more negative. Hope has been squelched entirely. It really is no longer part of the equation for many people. The oscillator that measures how oversold or overbought stocks are so off the charts, saying we're so oversold, meaning we've fallen too far too fast. If that happens, we almost always get a snapback rally like clockwork. When everyone is hopeless, maybe that's the one time when being optimistic really pays. Broken clocks, right 2 times a day. Look, we cannot lose hope. Not after the Dow come down to 6,726. The time to lose hope was much higher. Let it lift. Let's hope the hope agenda plays out for a few days until there are a few more bulls and fewer bears, and we recognize that as awful as things are, this is not as bad as the Great Depression. Production would have to fall 60% from here. Unemployment would need to triple. We would have to repeal FDIC. We'd have to stop having Social Security. And, well, frankly, we would have to get rid of every single safety net program that we've ever come up with. Now, I don't need hope to see those things won't happen. Here's the bottom line. As grim as things might seem, there are real reasons to put on the rose-colored glasses now and then. I think we keep going, well, I think we can trend higher for the short term as people rediscover the very idea of hope, something that's been lost for too long. So stop selling for now. A better time to dump awaits. Steve in Pennsylvania.